Society organizations, including the Black Consciousness Movement and the General Workers' Union of South Africa, have taken to the streets of Melrose Arch in Johannesburg against mining giant Glencore. The protesters accuse the multinational of complicity in ongoing violence in Gaza, calling for accountability and a complete divestment from companies profiting from the occupation. Our reporter Ntokozo Khumalo is there for us. Ntokozo, the protest, good afternoon, part of global demonstrations really. Give us some context.
Good afternoon, Michelle. Well, I am with the executive committee, or a member of the executive committee with the Workers and Socialist Party, that's Zaki Mamdoo, to give us a little bit more insights around this demonstration. As Michelle just said, it is part of global demonstrations. I understand Glencore is holding its annual AGM in Switzerland. Talk us through the purpose of the demonstrations here as part of that global movement.
Sure, thank you very much, Ntokozo. Look, I think ultimately at its core, while shareholders meet in Switzerland to celebrate the record profits that Glencore brings in year after year, people all around the world are coming out to demonstrate and to protest against Glencore, fundamentally because those profits are illegal. Those profits don't come from nothing. They are born of the immense struggle and hardship, the destruction, the devastation and the violence that has been imposed by Glencore and by other companies like it onto the backs of ordinary people the world over. And so all across the globe, communities who are confronted by the destruction caused by Glencore's extractive projects in the DRC, its extractive projects in Peru and in Colombia, and its destruction here in South Africa as well, where it is responsible for the devastation that we see in coal mining affected communities in South Africa. People are rising up to say, well, Glencore, this is a fundamental crisis. That wealth that they have built for themselves and that they are sitting and celebrating does not belong to them. It belongs to ordinary people who've suffered the devastation at their hands. Now, the other thing that is fundamentally important to note here and to acknowledge is that Glencore is playing a role in the transportation of South African coal to the genocidal state of Israel, where that coal is being used to fuel the killing machinery of the Israeli regime, as well as its apartheid and its blockade in the West Bank and in Gaza.
And what is the response that you are hoping to get, not only from the South African government, but also the miner itself as a corporation, in terms of just responding to some of the calls that you are making? You are also, as part of the demonstration, protesting against Jill Marcus, the former Reserve Bank governor. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I think we're tired of sellout apartheid stalwarts who have come into power in this country and perpetuate the systems of injustice, and they uphold it and they continue to impose it onto ordinary people, hiding behind their struggle credentials. And we see that in the halls of parliament, we see that on the boards of major corporations across this country as well. I think it's important to note that when you are dealing with a company like Glencore, in many ways, they are doing exactly what they are supposed to be doing, extracting record profit. That is by design, by definition, that is their DNA, that is what they are set up to do. And so our point and our perspective as the Workers and Socialist Party is to say, well, actually the only way in which we can use the productive machinery, the infrastructure that a company like Glencore holds and currently has private ownership of, is if it is placed in the hands and under the democratic control of workers and communities. That is the only way in which we use that to produce in order to meet the needs of ordinary people, as opposed to meeting the needs of profit. So when we are dealing with Glencore, of course, we are putting forward a demand that the export of South African coal to Israel must halt and cease immediately. People are dying in their hundreds, day in, day out. Children are being burnt alive. People are being starved to death. And for that reason, that would be an immediate victory if that coal ships out. But the struggle doesn't end there. Ultimately, we need to be moving towards the expulsion, the expropriation of Glencore and all companies like it. so that we can produce to meet the needs of ordinary people.
Well, Zaki, thank you so much for talking to us. Zaki Mamdoo there, Michelle, of course, a member of the executive committee with the Workers and Socialist Party. Their one call is saying that the exports of coal by Glencore to Israel needs to cease immediately. Some of the calls as well that they are making to the government. Just before I let you go to step out a shot for Kevin to just show you, but these are the protesters that have then gathered here at the Melrose Arch in Johannesburg, and they are planning to be here for the next few hours with the support of other civil society organizations. Michelle.
Ntokozo Khumalo left us there in Melrose Arch.